All right. Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to this webinar on how you can multiply your revenue by 10 with influencer marketing. I'm with Daniel Koss today to present this webinar with me so that we can tell you a little bit more and give you some insights on how you can leverage influencers with Creable, the tool that Daniel will talk about us to us in a few minutes, and also how you can leverage them within Folk, so that I can tell you a bit more regarding that. So maybe we can start really quickly by introducing ourselves, and I'll just let Daniel start with that, and I'll follow just after you, Daniel.
Sure. So, quick background on me is that I was a YouTuber myself. I was a gaming YouTuber, just wanted to play video games all day, uploaded Minecraft to YouTube, and quit high school at 15 to follow that dream. Then I got a management, and then I started a management. And after working in the creator economy as a YouTuber, an agent, and then an agency for 12 years, I realized there's a big problem. There's a lack of data, but I'll talk about that later.
Great, thank you so much. So, just to give you a bit of information regarding me, I'm Julie. I'm customer success manager at Folk for 3 years now. We've been building for the past year a great CRM tool, an intelligent CRM where you can easily centralize your contact, collaborate with your team, and manage any use case within the CRM to activate your contacts the way you want. And we've been doing a lot of influencer marketing ourselves, and we know that it can be really powerful if you do it the right way. So that's why we wanted to give you a few insights on how you can work on that, work with your influencers, and leverage them the best way with different tools. And today we'll speak about Creable and Folk to create powerful marketing campaigns to your audience and in order to promote your brand. So again, I'll let you the floor, Danielle, so that you can give us a bit more information regarding Creable and how people can use it to find the perfect list of influencer for their own brand.
All right, so let me share my screen. Share screen is the first time I'm doing it here. Let's see. Entire screen. I'm not greedy. Does it work?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So let's start with the first step of all amazing influencer campaigns, finding good influencers, which is usually actually the biggest problem in every single campaign. I'll actually delete all these filters here and we'll start a proper influencer search from scratch. So in Creable, all of you can start a free trial today for free. Just go to the website and click on start free trial. And then when you want to search, you go over here to find creators. And now don't be overwhelmed. I'll explain everything step by step. So first, you want to select the platform where you want to search. I'm going to go for TikTok since it's probably the hottest platform right now. I personally am a huge fan of YouTube. For me, it's always YouTube is king, but we're going to go for TikTok for today. And then you want to first limit the search to creators of the size that is a good fit for your campaign. So you click on followers and you can just select a range. So in this case, we could, for example, go for mid-sized creators to giga creators. So 50,000 followers to 10 million or more followers, which is, big ones to like the biggest stars on the planet. Then you can select the location. Basically, the next four are demographic filters. And the important part here is that these always work for the creator and or your audience. So for example, let's say you have a shooting in France, for example, you can select creator location France. But for most campaigns, 95% of the time, the more important part is, of course, the audience location, the audience language, the audience age, and the audience gender. This is, if you just filter for the right audience demographic, you're better than 90% of influencer marketing campaigns. because reaching the right target audience is obviously the major step of having good results. So I'm going to leave that out for now, since you don't have a strong preference. I did have a filter prepared that I'm going to show later. I think maybe I could just show how it works. So you could select, for example, let's like Switzerland, actually, because it's a hard country to target for. But if you say, for example, Switzerland, more than 40% of the audience, maybe it's a little bit big for Switzerland. So let's say nano to macro. You can see, oh, wait 1 sec. Yeah, there we go. So you can see there's still 29,000 creators. That's because we index every single creator in the world. So the entire database is 300 million creators. So you will definitely find the right creators. Same for age, same for gender. Now, keywords is an interesting one. The way this works is you can search what influencers write in their caption or for what they write in their bio. So by bio, it's the small little text on their profiles. This is usually used in a self-descriptive way. So I'll make a random example. So for example, if you search for somebody who has proud dad in their Instagram bio, I think that would be, for example, President Biden. Yeah, there we go. So you can see we entered proud dad in the bio. And then if you go to the Instagram account, we can see that President Biden actually has proud dad in his bio. So this is a very accurate filter where you search for exactly what they have in their bio. Then there's a more general filter, which is captions, which searches for influencers that talk about this topic or related topics. So if I say, for example, fitness, we're probably going to see a lot of six packs and ripped bodies in a second. I'm not sure, but I assume. Yeah, there we go. Six pack, people squatting, gyms, fitness inspiration. So yeah, you get the point, right? Because then it automatically filters by keyword relevance, people who talk the most about these topics. And then engagement rate, I'll keep this one short because it's quite simple. We give you some benchmarks, what is basic, good, and excellent. And then you can also go into details. If you're a professional, you can search for their growth rate, average views, estimated price per post, hashtags they use. You can also use multiple hashtags together, like food or eating or whatever. And then it searches for influencers that use any of those. You can also search for accounts they're tagging. So this is great if you want to look for influencers that your competitors are work with. So for example, let's see, are there some influencers that are targeting HubSpot or no, probably all bad. You get the point. You could also do multiple ones. So like Nike, Adidas, Puma, if I want to search for footwear influencers, right? Account type, this is a special one only for Instagram. Here you could search for regular or creator. The main point here is just to actually filter out businesses, since we're not interested in B2B marketing. You want to do people marketing. And activity, this is one of the most important ones on all platforms. You just want to select 30 days, because then you're only going to see creators that have uploaded or are active in the last 30 days. And last but not least, you can search by creators that have done paid collabs before. So this is if you want to go for more professional creators. But that usually comes with a small increase in price since they're professionals. Actually, sorry, not last. We have 3 more filters. You can search for specific creators. So let's say, for example, I want to find Mr. Beast. I don't want to use filters. I just want to get straight to this creator. I have him in mind. And there he is. Issue here is that he's so famous, it actually has 108 channels that are named Mr. Beast, because he has multiple of them. But let's ignore that for a second. And then 2 more details are, you can also say, I only want to show creators with email. That's going to be important if you want to import their emails into something like Folk, because obviously, how are you going to do email automation without emails? That's usually the most important filter of all if you want to automate processes. And you can also hide creators that you've already unlocked previously, so you only see new results. Okay, now that we got all the filters out of the way, let's actually go to a filter I've saved. So I saved a fitness influencer filter. And here you see it applies TikTok creators with email, with more than 50K followers. that are based in the US, that talk about fitness, have an email, have a good engagement rate, and have been active in the last 30 days. And now I can see, for example, Josh Richards. So when I scroll, you can see that they're blurred. It automatically identifies them on scroll. And let's say I think Josh Richards is a great fit for the campaign. If I want to check his content, I can now click here on his TikTok account, and now I can see if he's a content brand fit. Let's say I like his content. I could now add him to a list already. That would be a bit early. Or I could unlock him. And when I unlock him, I can get much more extensive data about him. So what data points can you get here? Well, a lot. First of all, picture, name, gender, location, bio. Here you can see a summary of all his social media accounts, content language. Here's again the link to his account. You see when we last updated him, this was literally just right now since I just unlocked him. Then some high-level stats like followers, likes, engagement rate. And here's the good stuff. So audience demographics, always in relative and absolute numbers. Audience age, same here. Audience gender, performance metrics, growth rate. And you can also see other accounts. So notice that we've only unlocked him on TikTok. You can now also see his other accounts, like Instagram and YouTube in this case. He's a very big one, so he obviously has diversified across all platforms. And then there's one last thing that you can get in his profile that I haven't showed yet. So this is the content quality control and audience sentiment analysis. I've prepared this for Mr. Beast since this can take a couple of minutes. But when you unlock this, you can basically get an even deeper analysis where we analyze every single post he's made and all his audience's comments. And then you can get very detailed information about tone of voice. For example, Mr. Beast's channel has a joyful and comedic tone, focusing on positivity, thrilling competitions, and philanthropic endeavors. Same for topics. And this is interesting because previous software was very generic. For example, a singer, a comedian, would both be into the category entertainment. What does that mean? It's very vague, right? And now Mr. Beast, his YouTube category is entertainment. But what does it mean? It means he talks about extreme challenges, charitable initiatives, large-scale donations, surprise giveaways, and eco-friendly projects. It's much more nuanced. And same for brand safety. Here we analyze for the obvious red flags like sexuality, drugs, violence, controversy, and of course, generally politically controversial topics. We try to avoid everything. In his case, he's literally a 10 out of 10. And then last but not least, so this is more like if you're working at a bigger company or you have some additional decision makers and you just want to, CYA basically, cover your own ass, right? And however, if you are more performance oriented, if you really care about, hey, this campaign has to perform, this section is more interesting for you, the audience sentiment analysis. So basically, we discovered that there are 3 factors which decide if an influencer can sell or not. Popularity, basically, does the audience like the creator? It's just that. Do they like them or not? Authenticity, do they trust them? And do they perceive the creator as an expert? Now, in Mr. Beast's case, again, he's literally the biggest YouTuber in the world. So obviously, he's 10 out of 10 popular. He's perceived as pretty damn authentic. Maybe it's a 9 out of 10 because in the previous last couple of months, he's been a bit more commercial, since he's now selling Mr. Beast burgers and his Feastables and stuff like that. So maybe that's why he's like still excellent, right? But only 9 out of 10. And then expertise, 9 out of 10 as well. Now let's say we have all these data points. We're completely convinced. We have a list of creators. Again, you can add them with this little star icon. You can just add them to lists. Or when you're on their profile, you can also go to their account that you want to add to a list. In this case, TikTok. Let's add them to a list. And now we move over here to creator lists. We have one main list, which is unlocked creators. This is just like a history of all the creators you've ever unlocked. Or in this case, I want to go to food creators. A list I've prepared, obviously, since I don't want to go through all the testing with you. And then you have a general list, just top-down list. Or you can arrange creators in a board view. if you want to manage the phases a bit more, or if you want to be extra fancy and have a custom process you want to automate, and this is what I'm going to hand over to you, is you could download the list as a CSV. I would just click here, and then you see I now have the list downloaded as a CSV with all the data points. And now what can you do from here? I'm going to hand over to you, Julie, and you're going to show us the magic you can do with Folk.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. That was so interesting. And the tool is definitely really, really powerful. All the filtering option that you have, you can just find like the perfect creators and influencers for your campaigns. And as you just said, it's super easy because in one click, you can get that list into a CSV file. And that's how you're going to be able to leverage them now directly within Folk by importing that list and doing a different stuff to activate those influencers to start your campaign, marketing campaign. So let me share my screen now, and I'm going to show you. Okay, all right. So, of course, I've also prepared this on my side so that we don't take too much of your time doing the imports during the live. But basically, what I have done here is that I've simply created a new group that you can see on the left here that I've called influencers, which this is going to be my database of all my influencers that I'm going to leverage for all my different marketing campaigns that I want to do in the future. So anytime I'm going to get a new list of influencers, I will be it's going to be very easy to either import them with a CSV file. So I just click on import in my influencer group, drag and drop the file that Danielle just sent me, and import and upload all the new influencer I just targeted for my campaigns. Another way of importing influencers, if you also want to do it this way, is that we also have a Chrome extension that works on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. So if you're also looking for influencers directly on Instagram, you can easily add them into Folk just by opening the extension on the right. And then you're going to be able to capture the information from their profile to directly add their data and create the contact within Folk through the extension. So multiple ways of adding and compiling the list of your influencers within Folk. So as you can see here, we've been able to upload all the relevant information from the file. So of course, we have the Instagram link, and we can open them very quickly with the quick action on those links. We have all the data, all the values regarding the number of followers, engagement rate, average views, that we were able to capture thanks to Creable. And now we have this information within Folk. We created some tag as well to know the language, the country of our influencers, what's their age, and so on. Once you've done that, so this is a small list, but of course, at some point, you're going to have a long list, a much bigger list of influencers. And what you're going to be able to do is first, you can easily filter through these influencers to create sub-lists of influencers so that you can easily target influencers for your different campaigns. So if you want to do a campaign, for example, with only influencers that speak in English, you're going to be able to add just a little filter here so that you can get a view of only the English influencers if you want to reach out to them, for example. So the filter options are going to be really powerful for you to decide what you want to see in this list and target the perfect influencers that you're going to work with and that you're going to reach out to. Another thing that's really nice is that you're going to be able to create a status column. As you can see here on the right side, I created a very quick column that I call status. And in this column, I've added some like very basic step of my own process with my influencers, but this is going to be up to you. That's how Folk is being made. You can customize everything the way you want, and you're going to be able to very simply add any step here so that it's going to reflect your own workflow and your own process. Once you've done that, so this is nice, I have the information, but now what I want to do is that I want to see my contacts in a pipeline, so that I can know where they are in the different stages, and I can easily work on my pipeline. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to create a new view, as you can see here. And by creating a new view, I'm able to choose the pipeline view and organize this pipeline on the status field. So I already created this view that is here, because you can easily access your list of views directly from there. And when I jump into it, I'm going to see very basically a nice board view, Kanban view, where I can see all my different influencers in the different stages of my process, as you can see here. Of course, I can move the columns the way I want to get the perfect order of my workflow. And then obviously, I'm going to be able to decide what information I want to display on the contact card so that I can get a quick understanding of who they are, what they do, and how I can leverage them. And then, very basic as well, I'm going to be able to move them from one step to another so that I can easily follow up on my process. And then, of course, once you've done that, so you have a great way to, okay, this is the demo effect. Sorry about that. You have a great way to like manage your influencers, add any information about them, and move them along your pipeline. But what's going to be the most important is the ability to reach out to them so that you can start working with them, engaging with them, and preparing your marketing campaigns. And for that, we have a very powerful reach out feature within Folk that we call message, so that you can send campaigns to your contacts with ultra personalized email when you're going to reach out to your whole list of contacts. So let's say, for example, here, I want to reach out to all my contacts that are in the to contact list. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just for a sec and share my screen. And I'm back at you really quickly. Okay. Sorry. So basically, as I was saying, the idea is that you're going to be able to reach out to your contacts directly from Folk by sending a very personalized email, where you're going to be able to use the data that you already have on your contacts to make your email very custom and very personalized for each person in the list that you're having. Okay, so I think we're having a little issue here. I'm not able to share my screen with you again. So maybe in the meantime that I find the ability to show you this, we can try to answer some questions, Daniel, if that's okay with you. I think we have a few questions here, and one of them is for you. I'll just show it now from Champagne Spy.
Sure, I'll take over real quick
Thank
while
you.
we're fixing some minor technical issues. It's a bit lucky, to be honest. I'm always scared when I give a live demo. Something always goes wrong. So this time I got a little bit luckier than you did. Good question. So I already answered on LinkedIn. I give a bit more of an. Actually, maybe I can share my screen and actually show the feature just showing it. So give me one sec. Share screen, entire screen. Okay. So his question is: does Creable offer a function to check if an influencer has bought many followers? So the short version is yes. Here's the long version. On TikTok and YouTube, fake followers are just not that much of an issue because they're very easy to spot, and the platforms actually delete and remove those followers. Some people say that Instagram doesn't want to remove fake followers, which is why on Instagram, fake followers are a big issue, and that's why on Instagram we offer a separate audience breakdown because it's needed. So how does it exactly look like? Let's go to, for example, Cristiano's profile. Let's see, one of the world's biggest soccer stars. Does he have fake followers? Answer is, of course he does, because everyone has. The question is how many. So Instagram, you go down here to audience quality, and you can see this nice little pie chart. And the green part is the percentage of his followers that are influencers themselves. So they have over 1,000 followers. So he literally has millions of influencers among his followers, since that's obviously a very big follower count. But his audience is mainly clean. 65% real people, 12% are spam accounts, and 18.6% are fake accounts. Before you ask, wait, what's the difference between spam accounts and fake accounts? Well, we distinguish between these two. Spam accounts can be fake accounts or they can be real people, but basically, when we notice somebody as a follower that follows over 1,000 accounts, we do mark them as spam, because why are you using Creable? You most likely want to advertise with creators, right? So you want to have creators that reach an active audience. And if their followers follow thousands of accounts, realistically speaking, they're not going to see that creator's content. So does it matter if it's a spam or a fake account? At the end of the day, to you, it's basically both worthless, since if they're not going to see the account, no matter whether they're not really a human or whether they're just not seeing it in their timeline, they're not going to buy from you. End of story. But we still distinguish between the two, because a fake account is an account where we just straight up notice fake behavior. So for example, just an example, if they comment 24/7, 7 days a week, cannot be a human, because we assume that humans sleep. If they post thousands of comments everywhere all at once in 20 languages, we flag it as fake. And there are a couple of those indicators. So yeah, that's hope that answers your question.
That's all right. Thank you so much. So everything is back to normal on my side. Thank you, Danielle, for doing this little Q&A in the meantime. So apparently we had a quick release on Folk, but it's now back to normal. So I'm going to share my screen again and just quickly finish what I was showing. So yeah, so as I was saying, very easy to reach out to your contacts. So let's say here, I just want to reach out to all the people that are in the to contact status. So I'm going to apply my filter. There is 5 people here, and then I'm going to click on message all. So this is going to start a new campaign for these 5 people, but of course that could be a campaign for hundreds of contacts at once. And that's what really powerful, because you can make an email that is going to be extremely customized and personalized for each person in the list, no matter the number of people that you're going to reach out to at once. And here I have prepared a nice template to reach out to those influencers, getting inspiration from our own library so that we can create the perfect reach out email. And what's really powerful here, as you can see, I'm using variables, so data that I have on my contacts within Folk, to make this email really custom. And I can use those variables in the subject and in the content of the email. So you see here, the subject is going to be, what about partnering Folk X, and the username, which is the name of the influencer on their Instagram. Once I'm happy with the content of my email, I can just go in the review step. And here I'm going to find the 5 individual emails that have been created for each person in the list. If I'm happy with it, I can just send it like this. But if I want to customize my email even more to create even more powerful reach out to those people, I can just come here on the right side, and I'm still able actually to edit those emails one by one to personalize them even more. So let's say, for example, Charles is an influencer I know and I already worked with. I can just like change a little bit the email, add a nice intro, like hope you're well since our last collaboration, for example. And this is going to update on Charles' email, and then I can do something very different for every other email. Once I'm done, I can just hit send, and that's going to send to everyone. And once the campaign will be sent, of course, I'll get the ability to go into my campaigns overview and see all my sent campaigns with a bunch of analytics so that I can get a full understanding of who received my email, who opened it, if there was any link, who clicked on them. And of course, if some emails are not good anymore, I'll get the information that they bounced. So yeah, I think that's most of it. And then of course, I can just go back to my pipeline, move my contacts into contacted, and just follow on the whole workflow very easily. All right. So that's it on my side. And I think just looking at the bunch of questions, I don't know if we have any. I might be able. Okay, I
See
think we
one
have.
unanswered question.
Yeah, I think we have one more question from Edward. I think this one is for you, Daniel.
All right. Am I able to connect directly? So, great question. Obviously, contact details slash emails are essential to absolutely everything we just showed here. No email, no contacting. The answer is so our primary goal is to have data on every influencer in the world. And that just simply doesn't work if every single influencer has to log into Creable. Imagine having to onboard 300 million creators. That would not be a good process, even if they would all be interested, right? So we do scrape. However, there we have contact details of 50 million creators. So if you just adjust our database to those creators with publicly available email, you will still get 50 million. I can maybe talk about some ratios. So on Instagram, there are around 130 million, 125 million creators. Of those, I think roughly a third, 35 million creators do have emails. So yeah, roughly 1 in 3, 1 in 4 has an email. YouTube is a bit worse on YouTube. There are about 8.5 million YouTube accounts with more than 5,000 subscribers. Of those, roughly 1 in 8, so roughly 1 million creators has a publicly available email. And TikTok is sadly the worst. On TikTok, only roughly 1 in 100 creators has a publicly available email. So from 135 million creators, around 1 million do have an email. So yeah, you're still left with 50 million creators with email. However, a couple of details I want to mention here. If a creator does not have a publicly available email, they're probably not used to working with brands, because creators that work with brands and also want to get inbound, they know that their number one source of inbound is actually their publicly available email. So if a YouTuber does not have in the about section or in the video description their email, they're probably less professional. Also, the creators that don't have emails in their profiles are usually the small ones. So and this is of course the long tail of influencer marketing. So long story short, if you go for the bigger creators, they almost always have an available email. And not sure really, but maybe I think Folk does have an enrich feature with how you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
hand
I
over
was
to
going
you.
to jump into that, but yeah, absolutely. With Infolk, you're able to enrich contact. We have an integration with Drop Contact, that is an enrichment tool dedicated to enriching data, such as a missing email, for example. So, if for some of the influencers that you're going to target within Creable and you're not able to find their email, once you've added them to Folk, you're going to be able to easily enrich their profile and potentially find the right email. If I just share my screen for a second, I'll just show you. But here, you're going to be able to come to the list, select the contact that you want to enrich, and just click on the enrich all button here. And this is going to automatically find the right email of this person, so that you can start reaching out to them directly from Folk after that.
That's amazing, actually. That's really cool. Oh man, now there's a ton of questions.
Yeah, we are a bit out of time on our schedule. I don't know. Do you want to take one more question, maybe, and then we can reply to everyone directly within LinkedIn?
Yeah, sure. So before we end, if you still have questions, just contact me and Julie via LinkedIn DM. We're very approachable. So let's take one last question. Which one should I take? You
Yeah,
pick one.
you can. I pick one.
Yeah, just because you can highlight them. That's why.
Yes. Okay. Let me pick one. Okay. I don't know if this one is.
Does Creable offer services to get those influencers started and to have an offer with pricing ready? Um, I'm not 100% sure what you mean with getting those influencers started to have an offer with pricing. So we do not have an invoicing or offering tool where you can do the contracting and stuff like that. But we do provide, actually, one of our newest features is pricing data. So we have 3 levels of pricing insights. So the final price that you are offering to the creator or the creator is asking from you, that will obviously, since it's a service business, this is highly, highly flexible. It's not just one number based on reach or content quality. It's up to negotiations. And then is there a buyout included? There's a lot of questions. However, to simplify, for every single creator we provide, pricing level number 1 is estimated price. The way that's calculated is just simply, we just take the typical price that creators on the platform ask for 1,000 views, and we adjust it to the views that the creator has. So the estimated price just shows how much would a typical creator on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, with that reach charge for a post. Then the next point is, if some of our users have worked with that creator, or agencies or brands directly, they can add that price point to Creable, and then it goes from level 1 pricing information, which is like a yellow little kind of wave symbol, like rough estimate. It goes to a gray check mark, and you know, okay, this is actual real data. Now, it might have changed slightly until now, but you have a rough understanding, like a rough ballpark where the pricing is. And then the level 3 pricing information is if the creator directly or their management has confirmed the real prices, you will see a green check mark. And then you know, okay, that's 100%, that's the actual price they're charging. And then, of course, then there's the price that you're offering them, which is a different story, which is up to your negotiation skills. Usually there's always room for negotiation on both sides.
Thanks, Daniel. I think we're gonna wrap everything now because we are a bit over time. But just wanted to say thank you so much, Daniel. It was super interesting and very happy that we were able to run this live webinar, the two of us, showcasing how Creable and Folk combined can be the perfect tools to leverage your influencer strategy and increase your revenue with a marketing influencer. As you said, we're very happy to answer any additional questions on our LinkedIn, on our email. So feel free to reach out to us. And if you need a demo as well of both tools, Creable or Folk, you can just request it to Daniel and I.
Thanks for hosting. This was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.